Yo everyone, what's going on? Couriway here, and in this video, I almost beat my speedrun personal best time on an absolutely awful seed. As many of you know, I speedrun daily on twitch.tv/Couriway, and we're actually very close to 100,000 followers, so make sure to drop a follow if you aren't already. This run happened live during the beginning of the stream, and I don't want to spoil too much, but there was one very large issue that caused me from beating my best time. Thank you all so much for checking out this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you aren't already. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below, and be sure to check out my Discord along with all my other socials in the description down below. And without further ado, enjoy the video, everyone. All right, let's talk about how this run went down. I'm actually doing this, obviously, as you could probably tell, as a post voiceover. And for the reason for that is I just uploaded a video recently where I actually, just had the video from my Twitch VOD, the 30K one. But for this one, since it was more of an actual, really good speedrun, I wanted to kind of talk about my thought process a bit more and try and help you understand what was going on. And obviously, if people have seen the run already on Twitch, then it's kind of a new experience for them as well. So I want to try and do that from time to time as well. But it starts out pretty standard here. It's hypermodern. For people that don't know what hypermodern is, it just means basically that we are going to be mining a tree and going in the ocean and using boats to get our iron. There's actually a boat pretty close by that I spotted, which is really nice. And then the only thing I really need then is a magma ravine or some type of cave to get down to lava level, and hopefully I can, get into the nether via that. So I craft all the things that I need, my boat, my doors, my bowls, and I'm good to go. I see my boat, as you can see, and I'm just going to head there now. And the really nice thing about this boat is that it is a full boat rather than just a back end of a boat. And why that's really good is that means that I can enter the nether with food. So although back boats give you iron and they're the important ones and that's what you need, having a full boat for food and consistency is actually really, really good. Now, as you'll see in a second, this chest is really nice. I get 12 iron, which is enough for full iron tools and a bucket, which is great. But this food chest is not amazing. I get rotten flesh, which is better than nothing for sure, but not amazing by any means. So then we go down, we grab our gravel here. I actually don't remember how good my flintlock was on this. I'm pretty sure it was average. I don't remember anything too crazy happening here. And just pretty standard, grab our gravel before we go in. Something about warm oceans, which I'm in. You can tell if it's a warm ocean based on the color of the water, plus if there's gravel or sand at the bottom. Since there's sand at the bottom here, having it be a warm ocean is, it's really important to find where the gravel is, because you obviously need gravel for flint. So you want to really try and bank on that. And I saw some, so it worked out well. This was a really lucky cave opening here. This overworld's honestly amazing. You can tell by my time. I'm going to enter 2:30-ish, which is really, really good. This enter is solid. I'm really happy with this type of enter. If I got this every time, I would be ecstatic. This was great. So all I got to do now is fill in the bottom block, and we're going to be entering the nether with food, flint, and steel at 2:15. Really good enter here, and I was really happy with how I played it, honestly. I felt honestly, just looking back at it right now, seeing how I played it was really nice. So now we are going to be E-rain for a bastion, which I'm doing right now. I know that I have a bastion because of the number of the E counter, which you can see underneath my sub goal. And I see that there's two bastions, one close, one far. The reason I could tell that this one's close is based on how high the number was and how much it was fluctuating. And since it was fluctuating not that much between a decent amount of distance, I knew that it was pretty close. And as you can tell, the bastion is actually right there. So really cool. It's a bridge bastion, which is really cool. Bridge bastions are, well, actually it's not cool. And let me take that back. Bridge bastions are not cool. I don't like bridge bastions. I know a lot of people on YouTube think that I like bridge bastions because that's what my PB world is. That's what my former world record was. Bridge bastions are not great. You also saw me do something there with my F3 menu, F3 and shift, which I've talked about in my 1.17 video, why you shouldn't play 1.17. And I check my pie chart and I see that there's a fortress, which is good. There is a mob spawner, which means there is most likely a fortress as long as it's not treasure bastion. So you probably saw when I'm going to this gold now is that there were a lot of piglins on the, just in the vicinity. They weren't where they were supposed to be, basically, in a bastion. They kind of wandered out, and that's because of the terrain of this bastion. It's really awkward to do an actual route. So what I decided to do here is improvise, and this was a really smart play, I believe, for me. And watching it back, I still believe that this was the right play. So what I'm actually going to do is, instead of doing normal routes that you see where I go up this right side, all I'm going to do is break this gold block. Well, actually, I'm going to make a hole first, which is smart. Break this gold block, get all these piglins mad at me, and they're all going to fall in this hole. I get what, like 8 piglins, 9 piglins, which is really, really good. And one other guy was mad at me, so I just decided to throw all this gold in there, which he was actually really not cooperating with. And now I have 2 chests to check. So unfortunately, I don't have anything too great chest-wise because of how this bastion is. With how bridge bastions work, there's 2 side ramparts. Each have a chance of being either a triple chest or just a singular chest. And on this bastion, both were unfortunately single chests. I do get a good amount of gold, though, which is kind of nice. That allows for me to trade a bit more gold if I need it, since I'm checking these chests mainly for obsidian. That's like the only thing that I need. So I'm going to do a quick check here. I'm just going to kind of throw in gold. I realize that I need to check the last chest for obsidian. So I do a quick check here to see if I like high rolled crazy hard or anything. I have basically everything except the obsidian. So if I pulled obsidian here, I could have left sub 5 minutes, which is really, really good. Like actually like sub 5 minutes is realistically world record pace still. So that would have been great, but I don't pull the obsidian, unfortunately. So unlucky there. And now I'm just organizing my inventory because I know the piglins have to trade a bit. So I'm going to make some food. I'm going to grab, I'm just going to like organize. I honestly do this pretty slowly. I think I could have done that a bit faster. Not the best organization in the world. But I do have a gold pick from the ruined portal, which was really nice. I didn't even really touch on that at all, but I obviously, you know, you saw me loot it. So now I'm going to check. I only need one more a piece of obsidian, so that's what I'm going to play for here. And then we'll be leaving. I have a bunch of pearls, a bunch of mushrooms, and I am very, very happy. A bunch of string as well. Just an absolutely insane amount of string. I have fire res. All I need is that one last piece of obsidian. And I finally get it, which is great. I'm still leaving this bastion at a good time. 5 minutes, 27 seconds is an incredibly respectable bastion leave. And now I am going to be checking for a fortress. So I know there's a bastion that way. That's the one that I E-rayed before. And then I'm checking my E distance here. And it doesn't seem like there's a bastion in either of these 2 quadrants. So I'm going to go to the one diagonal for me because I think it has better terrain to traverse. So that's what I'm going to go for here. And actually, when I throw this pearl, you can see the second bastion to my left. And unfortunately, once I got here and pulled up my pie chart menu, I saw that there was no longer a mob spawner. So I was like, okay, well, that's unfortunate. So I do at least know that the bastion is now, or excuse me, the fortress is now this way that I was going before. So unlucky there, a bit unfortunate. Not really much that I could do besides just unlucky that I made the wrong play there. And now all I have to do is find this fortress. And the issue is, it's really hard to find. I know it's here, but it's just buried. And I know at this point, if I don't see it, like right here when I throw this pearl, that it's buried. And I don't see it. It's really hard to see. I went back in the VOD afterwards, and it's really, really hard to see. You could actually see it in the top left, but no one on my screen, or no one in my chat, unfortunately, saw it. I didn't see it. And I could have saved easily a minute and 30 seconds here, because all this is just me trying to navigate and try and get to this fortress. And I didn't realize, honestly, this is the first time I'm watching it back, I didn't realize that it's pretty on the screen there. It was pretty on the screen. And then this guy comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, excuse me, you could see it in my face. I'm like, this is not good. I can't throw a pearl because I'm on 2.5 hearts, and I can't, like, I don't want to eat food and risk the, like, I didn't know what to do here. I panicked, pretty much. I panicked pretty hard. I was like, I have to just kill them, which is really just unlucky here. I've never seen anything like that where the magma cube is just waiting for me, and it just pounced on me floating on the lava. So I was really not happy about that. Unfortunately, there's, again, I don't really think there was much I could do here besides, like, if I saw the fortress, it would have been a lot better, but I didn't see it, and it honestly, it really sucks. So now I finally see a part of the fortress here. Literally waste a minute from when I saw the fortress actually to when I'm seeing the fortress now. Just really unfortunate they didn't catch it out of the corner of my eye. That would have been such a time save, and honestly very much would have made this PB. But what can you do? You know, what can you do? So something I regret here that was like a minor misplay is that I had one extra brown mushroom and I didn't check. I should have grabbed one of these red mushrooms so I could have had one more mushroom stew, but I wasn't checking that. So that was a misplay for sure. That would have saved me probably like 15 to 20 seconds, maybe. It would have been a good play there. But I'm actually towering up here, and I don't realize this at the moment. I realize it right about now, that this is actually the blaze spawner, and not just a random part of the fortress. So that was actually quite lucky that I towered up onto the blaze spawner spot, instead of just a random part in the fortress. So thankfully it saves me a bit of time there, which is quite nice. I go 0 for 1 at the start here, and this part I played kind of poorly as well. And less so poorly than just slow. I don't like make any wrong decisions. I'd make the right decision, but I just do this part kind of slow. So I should have done this faster. I should have broke this. I double checked my block placement. I'm doing a blaze bed tech here, and a wither skeleton comes out of nowhere, knocks me, and then a blaze spawns, and I actually don't have fire res right now, and the blaze just misses. If I got hit there, the run was dead, but thankfully I did not get hit. I throw down a fire res. I got very lucky at that part. And I get 1 rod now. I'm 1 for 2. I'm going to blaze bed and open up the spawner drastically. Eat one more time just so I, don't die when I throw this blaze bed off. And as you can see, I cleared out an absolute butt ton of space here. So I was very happy about that. And now all we do is have to wait for the blaze rods. And normally this isn't like amazing pace. I know my in-game time is a bit off. I don't know how much it's off. But I needed some rates to carry here. And I actually do get pretty solid blaze rates, which is actually pretty nice. If you are familiar with me watching, or if you're familiar with watching my stream, you are probably aware that recently on stream my blaze rates have been awful, but thankfully in this run they cooperated, which was really nice. It was about time, to be quite honest, and I actually talked about it today, but people on YouTube don't know this. I had a run that I did offline where I entered the end at 11:41 in-game time, but the dragon did not perch, which is actually sub 13 pace if I got a decent dragon, but it just did not happen. So that was unfortunate. I've had 2 runs very recently. This one and the 11:41 end enter that have been very, very close to PBing. And just haven't had the full luck that I needed. This one, the fortress was kind of scuffed. And the other one, I just didn't get the perch, which is a bit unfortunate. But you know what? What can you do? I get 7 rods here, which is a little bit unnecessary. But you know what? I'm never going to complain. It allows me to be a bit more risky with eye throws and kind of triangulate a bit faster than having to be cautious. So I'm blinding here about 25 seconds, 30 seconds faster than my PB because of in-game time differences. And I'm going to create my pearls here, Eyes of Ender, excuse me. I'm going to throw my first eye, and I'm going to do something called distance estimation. First eye was 105.9. I'm going to go about 90 degrees to my right. This is pretty accurate. And I'm going to throw another one, and it is 104.4. So it's actually a pretty good blind. If you get anything below or above a 1 degree angle change, it's actually quite good. So basically how this works is it requires a lot of math, but the math behind it is one degree angle change on the amount of jumps that I did is about 1,000 blocks. So since it was about 1.5 degrees angle change, it was about 750 blocks, which is actually not an amazing blind, but definitely above average. So I was very happy about that. I'm able to kill 1 pig here, which unfortunately only drops 1 pork chop, which was quite unfortunate. I could have saved a decent amount of time there if the pig actually dropped another piece of food, because now I'm just chucking pearls, right? I'm just chucking pearls as fast as I can. I grab a little bit of wood here because I wanted to just like kind of guarantee my beds. I think at this point I only had 4 beds, and I was like, yeah, I had 4 beds. I was like, I can just make myself have a 6th bed. Why not? And then I just keep throwing pearls, and unfortunately, having just rotten flesh kind of slowed this down a bit more than I would have liked. But angle changes a bit more, so I'm like, okay, this is decently close. But I do triangulate this a bit poorly, just a bit. I think I could have thrown a little bit less eyes and been a little bit more direct on knowing the precise, like, how long it would have taken for me to travel the 750 blocks. But overall, I was pretty happy. Keeps going a bit further. Like I said, like this probably should have been like my first eye throw, like at this point. And I start to second guess myself when I throw 2, because I get a little bit, like, I think I throw my eyes too early because I just get excited. And if I waited to throw it a bit more, I would have felt a bit better about it. Because now I'm thinking like, oh, did I mess up? I threw 2 eyes and neither of them turned around. But now I throw my 3rd one and it turns around. And I actually nailed this, like, on the head. But since I had 7 Eyes of Ender, I wanted to, or excuse me, 7 Blaze Rods. I wanted to just absolutely nail it and know what I was doing. So, yeah, this eye goes down here, which is good. This is about 30 seconds behind PB pace at this point, I think, around that time. So, it could still PB with, like, a really good dragon and good stronghold. But now we are digging down, and the stronghold was not too cooperative. Obviously, there was also lava here. I kind of, like, panicked about that because I didn't have fires at this point and thought I was about to just fall into lava. But we're good. I jump in the stronghold. Again, this is a little bit behind PB pace, like 15-ish seconds or so at this point. And I'm thinking, okay, where am I going to nav? I go middle into a 4-way, which is quite good. That's almost exactly what you want to see always. I decide not to go down there because it doesn't look that promising, which was the correct play. I decide to then go this way, which is an immediate dead end. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's check the last way of this 5-way. And it's also an immediate dead end. So really unfortunate there. That's like the correct way to nav in that situation. And I just got completely rolled, which is a bit unfortunate. So I try to go this way. I open this door. I go down here. And there it is. So I got it again, like this, lost a little bit of time here. I needed like an instant portal, but I didn't get it, which is a bit unfortunate. So at this point, it's not really PBable. It's like 14 minutes, I think. I think I pause here. Yeah, 14 minutes. And at this point, it is not a PBable run. There's no way the dragon's going to perch that fast. But overall, I was really happy with it, and I hope you enjoyed. This was, you know, I tried to kind of think through my thought process. A lot of times I don't really have the chance anymore to like watch back my runs and really think about like, okay, what could I have done better? I'm really, honestly, I'm a bit disappointed in myself for missing the fortress. I didn't realize how kind of clear it was on my screen. And this was really sketchy because there were so many Endermen and I was trying so hard not to look at them. You could see it in like all of these. I'm like, oh my god, please don't look, please don't look. I'm like freaking out. But yeah, that was the run, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think I managed my food, honestly, really well. I think that's something I could take away from this, and if you're watching, I think I managed my food extremely well throughout this run. I think I played the Bastion really well, improvising with the location of the piglins, and I think I played everything else pretty standard. So here's the perch. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the 1 cycle. Hog. Good run, but dude, that's such an easy PB if I can like actually get to the fortress. Game sucks. 1543 or 1523, excuse me.